Hi, sixth graders. This is the first half of Popularity by Adam Bagdasarian from the book French Kiss and Other Traumas. And this is the second take for this video. I hope this works for you. And if you're feeling confused about your homework tonight, this is probably the best video for you to watch because it's the most relevant, and I will be specifically addressing the things I want you to be thinking about tonight for homework and tomorrow when we come together in class. So stick with this one. Let's just quickly refresh our memory. And what are we doing whenever we open up a book for the first time or start a story for the first time? What do we do? Whenever we start a story for the first time, we think about the story elements. In the beginning of stories, we usually focus on the setting and the characters because that's what really pops out at us first in terms of the details. And usually the authors are trying to really introduce us to the world, introduce us to the characters, and just kind of get us going on this journey alongside them. So setting and characters are really two awesome elements to zoom in on. Since this unit is about characters, and I'm telling you that we're going to be really studying Will closely. Will is the main character in Popularity, as well as many of the other short stories in French Kiss and Other Traumas. We're going to be looking at his character, what he's like. And so whenever I do this, I like to ask myself, what kind of a character is this? And I just try to notice at first, I just try to notice the stuff that he does, says, thinks, and feels. These kinds of details will help me to understand who he is, what he's like, and help me to maybe name some traits and establish some big feelings he has. So let's do this right now, shall we? Let's get going. Somewhere inside me, I knew that 10-year-old boys were not supposed to spend their recess circling oak trees in search of four-leaf clovers. Still, that's what I and my equally unpopular acquaintances, Alan Gold and Alan Shipman, were doing, while the rest of our classmates played tag and kickball and pushed each other higher and higher on the swings. Already, I'm getting the sense that this character is unhappy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write it on a Post-it for now, because I'm using the computer for other things. But if I were you, I would maybe just open up a Google Keep and just start to have an ongoing jot. I'm just kind of getting the sense that he's unhappy. So what am I writing on my Post-it? Literally the word unhappy. That's my first noticing. Let me keep going. Aside from having a little more than our share of baby fat, the two Allens and I had very little in common. In fact, we could barely stand one another. Still, during recess, we were the only company we had, so we tried to make the best of it. Now and then, one of us would bend forward, pick up a clover, examine it, shake his head, and let it fall to the ground. Got one, Alan Gold said. Let's see, Alan Shipman said. Alan showed Alan the clover. That's only 3. No, that's 4, right? Here, see? That's not a whole leaf, Alan Shipman said sourly. That's 1 leaf, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, 4 leaves. That's not a whole leaf. I'm really getting the sense that this character is pretty unhappy. And also just the way that he's talking about his friends, I'm going to add bitter. He seems like he's a bitter character. He's like unhappy with the situation. He doesn't even like his friends. He doesn't have anything nice to say about them. And he's kind of capturing this like kind of just not so nice moment either. So I wrote down on my Post-it, I'm adding to my Post-it, unhappy, bitter. What are you thinking? What kind of a character is this? What kind of feelings are you noticing from the story so far? And remember that we can be looking for character traits by examining what they say, do, think, and feel, right? So we're thinking maybe, well, he sounds kind of unhappy. He's thinking not so nice thoughts about his friends. Maybe that means he's unhappy. Maybe he's bitter. Let me keep going and see what else I can come up with. We had been looking for 4-leaf clovers every school day for 6 months, and each of us knew exactly what he would do if he ever found one. He would hold the lucky clover tight in his hand, close his eyes, and wish he was so popular that he would never have to spend time with the other two again. You know what I'm starting to notice too? That he's unhappy, he's bitter, and also he has this like kind of weird tone. I'm going to call this, maybe you know this word, sarcastic tone. Like he's making fun of them, of all of them. Maybe he's sarcastic. Like he's hoping that they'll never have to be friends with each other or talk to each other again. It's almost like he's making a joke out of it, but we know that it's kind of like a dark or a mean-spirited joke. We sometimes will call that sarcasm. So do you see how so far I've only just started the story and I have a couple possible traits for the character already? He seems kind of like he's maybe an unhappy person, maybe he's a bitter person, maybe he's sarcastic. How did I get these? By just paying close attention to details like what they say, do, think, and feel. Let me keep going. And as I keep going, I'm really trying to see if I can push myself to confirm one of these ideas or to maybe extend it or maybe even try a new idea. I never like to commit to a trait early on in the story because traits are often taught or shown across a story. This is my other little chart that I've made just to show you. I like to think about what kind of a character this is, or any character is, not just in the beginning, but across, because it's going to change. We know characters change, so I can't be committing too fast. All right, let me get back to that. While the two Allens faced off, I looked across the black tar and asphalt at a crowd of boys who were making more noise and seemed to be having more fun than anyone else on the playground. I'm getting the sense that he's a bit jealous. Are you? I already can tell that he's just like wishing he was somewhere else. And this is like the second time that he brought up his classmates doing other stuff that he thinks is more fun. So I'm writing down the word jealous on my Post-it. Maybe you're adding on to your Google Keep. Maybe you're adding on to your Post-it too. These were the popular boys, and in the center of this group stood their leader, Sean Owens. Sean Owens was the best student in the 4th grade. He was also one of the humblest, handsomest, strongest, fastest, most clear-thinking 10-year-olds that God ever placed on the face of the earth. I hear that sarcasm, do you? Like he's kind of making fun of the situation, like making fun of everyone for being so obsessed with Sean Owens. Like he's just the greatest person. He's like the God's gift to the universe. I mean, I don't know. It just sounds like he's not super serious. Like he's definitely kind of jealous, like maybe wants to be like him. It kind of sounds like, but it doesn't sound like he takes it so seriously. Like he kind of just thinks the whole thing's almost like a joke. So I'm going to say that I still stand by my other ideas that he's unhappy, he's bitter, he's sarcastic. But now I'm starting to get the sense that he's also a bit jealous. So like maybe this feeling, this like sarcasm or this like, you know, mean sense of humor is not just because he's sad, but because he's actually like jealous. Let me see if I can extend that even further. So I'm really now looking to see if I can like just kind of like zoom in on one of these ideas I have. Sean Owens could run the 50-yard dash in 6 seconds, hit a baseball 200 feet, and throw a football 40 yards. The only thing Sean didn't have was a personality. That is very mean. Isn't that mean? I'm gonna write that down. That's kind of mean. Again, like has like this sarcastic tone that's like sarcasm is when you're kind of right, you're making fun of something in like a not loving way, in like a kind of a mean-spirited way. And this is not coming through in just the way he's talking about Sean. Like he's complimenting Sean, but he has to like put Sean down. Like he's the greatest person ever, but he also has no personality. What's up with that? The only thing Sean didn't have was a personality. He didn't need one. When you can hit a baseball 200 feet, all you have to do is round the bases and wait for the world's adulation. Okay, he's totally making fun of this now. Maybe he's not making fun of Sean, but maybe he's making fun of like how other people view Sean or just like the situation, like how obsessed maybe the other 6th graders are. Let's keep reading and see. I just am really getting the sense that there's like, it's like rooted in some jealousy. Like he wants something, like he wants to be like Sean, but he also kind of hates him for, maybe he hates him. Oh, I should write that down. Maybe he doesn't like Sean because he represents like what he isn't. Let me just write that down. Let's see.